What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. This is part one of a three-part series of getting more done as a reseller mom. I'm super excited because I'm not a mom, but more than 50% of my audience is stay-at-home people. So I have Rebecca here from the Reseller Mom Show, and she's going to be helping us with best practices. Today's topic specifically is best sourcing to do during the summer. People worry about summer slowdown and what to do to combat that because the overall revenue is slower Q2 and Q3. That's kind of the slower time for e-commerce. It doesn't mean your store has to be slow though. So Rebecca, why don't you tell us where you're from, what do, what do you sell, and then let's start there.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris, so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been watching you for a long time, so this is super exciting. I'm Rebecca. I run the Reseller Mom Show on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari for the most part. I do a little print on demand and just dabbling in a couple other things here and there. I live in Orlando, Florida, and if anyone has watched me, if you haven't, we love doing, the Disney life. So being a reseller mom, staying home with my 3-year-old Geo, and being able to go out during the week when everyone else is at work and doing all these fun things is great. But I am very excited and passionate about helping moms get more done. And that's what the Reseller Mom Show is all about. And that's what I'm hoping we're going to talk about today.
That's awesome. And I would
Yeah,
say, we posted on Instagram what moms need, and it was a pretty healthy thread. A lot of people had some different concepts. So
it
maybe
was
let's get
awesome.
into your first tip to boosting the summer.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's, I only have a 3.5-year-old. He's not in full real school, but normally during the school year, he goes 3 part-time days. And so for me, by having him home over the summer, I'm losing that time to work on my business, having a toddler at home. For those that have, school age kids, you may have multiple kids at different ages and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get your sourcing in. So for me, this is what I've come up with based on my situation, and hopefully you can apply it, to you. The first tip is really to, knowing that summer's coming up, reevaluating, almost creating a summer business model, or reevaluating what your standards are going to be for the summer, giving yourself some grace. On my channel, I talk about giving yourself grace and kind of starting where you are and knowing what's possible for you. You're not going to be able to do what everybody else is doing. Just face it and do what you can and be positive and happy with that. So for me, I went down from doing 10 and 20 listings a day to doing 5 listings a day minimum. And then if I can do more, great. And that's less that I need to source, less that I need to photograph, less that I need to list. So maybe coming down on your listing goals, and then also just kind of being more flexible with your price threshold because of summer slowdown, because you're going to be putting up less. Maybe you're going to take offers that you wouldn't normally just to keep getting those sales in. So if you can kind of have a summer mindset and then revamp up again when back to school comes, I think that would help.
That's a phenomenal tip. Yeah, your expectations, if you have kids at home, need to be different. That's
Yeah.
when kids are usually home and have the summer off. So you can lower your expectations. You could take this time to source higher average sale price items and maybe not
True.
even list, just learn what's going to happen. We have Amazon Prime Day coming soon. So if you guys are selling
True.
on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, I just want to point out that whatever is hot for Q4, a preview is usually Prime Day. So even if you're selling
Mm,
on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, pay attention to Prime Day and see what companies are spending millions of dollars advertising for that one day. They're going to do that again in 3 or 4 months. So you can take this time to research because it's goes in cycles. So during the slow time, it's a great tip to take a step back because even if
yeah.
you were increasing your listing, the traffic is not there during this time comparatively. It's still there, but also remember with your when you reevaluate your expectations, think about the category. Um,
Right.
there are certain categories that are not seasonal. And I'll just give
Yeah.
you an example of t-shirts. T-shirts are not seasonal. If you look at the sales history on Terapeak, on eBay, and Poshmark, and Mercari, it's the same all year. That's
All the
one
time.
category you can think about getting into heavier if you're worried about this difference.
That's true. That's a great idea. I try to balance my seasonality, so I'm getting ready to start working on like my Halloween costumes now. Then I get ready to go into my ugly Christmas sweaters. Those categories bring me joy, so I'm going to do them whether or not they make me a lot of money. And then, bathing suits will start coming in the spring. And so I try to build up a little bit of year-round seasonality, whatever it is. Just side note. Ready for tip number 2?
Let's go on tip number 2.
All right. So tip number 2 is effective mass sourcing. And I think as moms, we know when our ebbs and flows are. We know that, if your husband or partner or whoever gives you 5 minutes, you've got 5 minutes to go get something done. You already know what that's going to be. As soon as you get the go ahead for 5 minutes, kid free, you know what to do. So I think thinking about the summer and effectively mass sourcing ahead of summer is good. Obviously, it's too late for that now, but you can think about it for next year. For me, I think you might disagree with me, Chris, but death piles are a reseller mom's best friend. Like, I love them. I think I have a post going out, I think today on Instagram about it, and I explained my reasoning. But basically, I try to have between 2 and 4 weeks of inventory available because I do have a photographer, I do have a lister, I do have virtual assistants. I do have people that depend on me for work, not just for my own work, but at the same time, it forces me to be accountable and having that death pile there for them. But I know that it's not just an endless death pile. It's going to get listed in the next week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And so for me, I do have in my storage unit at least 2 weeks, if not 4 weeks, of death piles ready and waiting. You don't know when your kid's going to get sick. You don't know when you might end up going and not finding anything, or you go and pick out all this good stuff and then your kid has a meltdown and you need to leave and you can't purchase all of it because you haven't quality checked it. I mean, these are all the things that we know as reseller moms come up. And I think to take that pressure off of yourself and plan for it, and maybe in the spring you start double sourcing if you can manage it, or don't list it all but save some so that you have it to keep you going through the summer. It allows you to plan ahead and not be so stressed out later.
This is an incredible tip because I don't know if people know this in the chat, but if you guys like this information, please like and comment. I've also put Rebecca's channel in the description, so you guys should follow her as well on Instagram and YouTube.
Thank you. Yes.
But one thing that I want to point out here is storage centers, I don't know if you guys know this, nationwide are more expensive during Q1 and Q2 because that's when people are getting rid of stuff. During Q3 and Q4, people are actually buying stuff. So this is kind of like the back to school is the kickoff for example, the busiest jean season is the 2 weeks before school starts. That's when people are starting to buy more jeans for their back to school. So what that means is this is the time that you stock up if you're running a retail operation. So as an example, right now, Buffalo Exchange, Plato's Closet, Goodwill, where I live, they are very strategic. In fact, I live in one of the areas where Goodwill sells, like every single Goodwill here has their own eBay store. On top of that, they just partnered with OfferUp, as you guys know. So they're launching that also. So the Goodwills here are like very savvy shops, and right now is when they're bulking up. The donation lines are insanely long. People are getting rid of stuff. They're doing summer clean. I've even seen more than one Goodwill be like, we have too much stuff even for this winter, because they store seasonal stuff now. So right now stuff is really, really cheap. So I don't mind the death pile. My issue is just where it is. So if you have a death pile and it's not distracting you from your day, that's great.
Yeah.
I worry about it stressing people out if you have it everywhere.
Yeah, I just watched your video and I'm like, oh, he's going to hate this one. But yeah, I mean, I do have a storage unit. I think that has what saved my marriage. So my husband doesn't like a lot of stuff. I have a few boxes in the garage right now, and that's like very controversial at the moment. So yeah, having a storage unit, and that could be a whole separate thing. There's pluses and minuses to it. But yeah, I mean, because it's out of sight, out of mind, and I know it's there for my photographer and myself to dip into when we need it. It's good that it's there.
Awesome. All right, let's go to tip number 3.
Yeah. So tip number 3 is sourcing online. And there's a lot of channels, and myself included, talks about all the different ways that you can source online in different places. So the idea of this isn't new, but I think maybe making more of a commitment to it, if it's not something that's part of your normal sourcing model, over the summer is the perfect time to do it. If you've ever been on my channel or go to my channel, and you'll see I do a ton of ThredUp unboxings, those rescue boxes. I've got lots of thoughts on it. Again, for a separate day. But, you know, the ThredUp rescue boxes are a way to get inventory to your door at a decent price. Is everything going to be a home run? Absolutely not. Do you have any control over what they send you? No, but it's something. And you usually can find a few things in there that at least you can list. And if you have a system for how to then process through it and parcel it out in different ways, you can do okay with them. Liquidation.com is another one. I've done several unboxings, and even though you may have seen on my channel a couple of the fails that I've had with it as a new online auction liquidation person, I'm learning those lessons. Reseller lots, you can find them on Poshmark, mystery boxes, everybody knows about that. And then be looking for those Poshmark closets that are closing. Now, there's a lot of people that say that they're closing and then they never really close, but I've actually gotten a good amount of stuff from closets clearing out, and I've picked up a bunch of their stuff, or even a 5 for 25 sale. Because it's summertime, people are hurting for sales, and you may be able to get some really good deals, and then you can sit on it and list it till later and put it up for a higher price that you're willing to get more money for. So there's deals to be had. It's all arbitrage. So sourcing online, and those are just a few. There's tons of places that you can look online, even retail arbitrage as well. So
I want to give one tip with sourcing online, because this got me into trouble when I first learned about it, because you can buy pretty much endless supply. So one thing I would recommend is you have at least 1/3 of you whatever storage space you pick that's empty. You actually need that space to process stuff because it is overwhelming. So if you have
yeah,
300 square feet, don't put 300 square feet worth of stuff in that space, because then you can't get to any of it. It's better to
right.
be at like half capacity or 1/3, so you can go in there and move around. And I took a class on warehousing, and if you have one-off items, you need a lot more space. So I don't want people to. I would rather you buy um, get a larger space. If you're going to play in
Yeah.
the liquidation game, there is more volume, and I think it's worth it to get a little bit more space just so you can breathe and the stuff will move quicker. And then if you can, as soon as you get that box, rip it open and get rid of 20-25% of it. um, don't be like, oh, it's money, I'm throwing away $1 profit. It's not $1 profit after you take into account your time.
Yes, yes, I'm learning that right now. I'm waiting on a pallet coming right now. I'm not sure. I've got to wait and see if they've updated my schedule. I've done a few different things, and yes, everything that you're saying, the processing space, it's a hard lesson. I may get a second unit just to do that. I don't want to yet, but I may. So yeah, I mean, it's a different game than the thrifting thing. So there's lots of lessons, and you have to be ruthless for processing because you can't manage it all. You have to do it fast.
One more storage idea is usually storage units have first month free or some kind of promotion going. So I'm usually
Right.
upfront with my storage unit and I say, okay, I'm bringing in a pallet or a truckload or something. I need a additional unit, but only for 2 months. So
Right.
I'm not going to be that guy that gets a unit for 1 month and pays $1 and then move at the end of the month and you guys only get $1. Can you just give me a discounted rate for 2 months? Then I have a timeline. Okay, I got to process all this stuff and move it out. And also, your storage unit's going to like you instead of you pissing them off with just taking advantage of their $1 promotion over and over again, which is okay, kind of. I mean, it's legal, but that's not the point of their promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm this palette will determine whether or not I'm doing this as a regular thing or not. And then once I know it's going to be kind of regular, that's when yeah. So we'll see.
Right.
Learning.
Yeah, I think you had one
Fourth
more
tip.
tip for the summer.
Yeah, one more. So this is sourcing locally, and every area is going to be different. In Orlando and in my particular area, there's a really healthy buy sell trade operation going on. There's several groups. There's all kinds of stuff available, and marketplace is awesome. I don't do a lot with OfferUp or any of that, so I don't know, but for me, buying Facebook lots, people putting up various lots, either they lost weight or whatever, like, I think that's something we all kind of look into, but maybe we forget about it, or you're not as actively pursuing it. So over the summer, that may be a good time to actively pursue Facebook lots, or some, OfferUp or whatever. And then two things that I've been experimenting with. One I've done, and I've got a video coming out about it soon. And then the other one I haven't done yet that I'm going to try to do this summer is a reverse garage sale. So I'm in a lot of mommy groups, and I've posted like, hey, I want to buy your used Lululemon. I want to buy your old work clothes. I want to buy your whatever. And I make a post and I get tons of responses. None of them have actually panned out on a specific brand or category yet. But what I'm thinking of doing for the next one is posting, hey, I'm going to be at my house on this Saturday from 10 to 2. Stop by with your used stuff. If I want it, I'll make you an offer. If I don't, I can donate it for you, or you can donate it after that. And basically, they're going to bring the clothes to me, and I don't have to leave my house or get a sitter for Geo, and you never know what you're going to get. These are people that may have dropped it off at Goodwill themselves, maybe not. Maybe they're going to try to post it on Facebook themselves, but never get around to it. So there's a market, at least for my area, I don't know about everyone else's, but in my area, where there's some arbitrage to be done, even in the pre-owned area. And the offshoot of that is doing a closet clean out service. I've done one successfully, and I've got a bunch of people that have asked for information. I'm waiting for them to do a schedule where for completely free, I will go pick up your stuff, bring it home, go through it, make you an offer, donate it if you don't want it, or return it to you what I don't want, and then pay you via PayPal or a check for what I do want. And I've done it with one woman so far. And like I said, I have a video coming out about it if you're interested in more info on that. But I'm like super pumped about it, because the idea of just doing all of this within my own zip code where I don't have to travel or pay tolls to go to the bins or whatever, like it's basically bringing the bins to you. And I think it's a great creative way to try to do some extra sourcing over the summer in your local area.
And I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is how Kim Kardashian got started. She just went around from celebrity household to household and then basically helped them out with the closet clear out service. She got
Really?
hustled a few $1,000,000 from that, because it depends on the neighborhood of people that you are helping. So,
I did
for
not know
example, if you get, is there a certain clientele that you would get that closet clear out for them is not a way to earn money? It's a way for them to get the space back, because they're not interested in whatever small amount of money you're going to get from reselling, or even if it's significant money. They want that space back. I just
that.
purchased 280 pairs of shoes from one lady, and
Yeah.
she actually said, "I'll trade you," because I'm not really interested in whatever it is, because I was just going to donate them, but trade me by finding me a few hot styles and just get those for me and then mail it to me. I'm not even in, like, whatever, because you sell shoes, you know what's hot, just send it to me as a service, and
Nice.
I'll trade you. And I'm like, this is insane. So like that's possible. It's not, you have to look for unequal value. Some people, a few $1,000s is nothing.
Yeah.
So they're willing to just, they're going to donate it if you don't offer this closet clear out service. And if you
Yeah.
have 10 Real Housewives of Orlando, that because it happens, they have so much stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one that I've done, I got some brand new with tags items. I got some good stuff. And then there was, a lot of Old Navy and a lot of Massimo and a lot of stuff. And I was just very honest with her up front. I said, listen, this is how it works for me. I don't want to insult you by my offer. This is what I can offer. And I gave her a little breakdown. I make a system for everything. So I have a whole thing, spreadsheet and whatever. And, I think initially she thought that my offer was a little low. And then after she thought about it and realized the brands and kind of what I was trying to do, I think it made sense to her. So based on that one experience and then the other general interest that I've gotten from it, I am very excited. I don't know how many more I'll get, but I do think that it's worth a shot pursuing in my particular area. I don't know if everybody's area this would make sense, but for mine, I think it's worth putting a little more effort into, especially in the moms groups. If you're a mom and you're in the little mommies groups and everybody's asking for recommendations about summer camp or orthodontist or whatever, that's a good hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom, this is what I do, I'd love to help you, and just be very honest. And most of them are very open and send you notices like right away. So
those are incredible tips. I love it.
thank you.
The ability to network with other moms is really, really powerful. So I love
Yeah.
that concept, because it's just, it's recurring. then that's I think what I want people to focus on, and things that you can do again and again and again. If you have relationships with
Absolutely.
people, they will start
Well, and
reading your
then
stuff.
she'll tell her friend or what, I mean, I have actually created a little referral program, and I even created a testimonial program. So the woman that I did it with, I actually paid her an extra $10 besides the money for the items, to $5 to refer me, and then $5 to like do a testimonial in one of the moms groups. Say, hey, just so you know, I did this thing and it was awesome. And I thought that was worth it. So
All right, I'm gonna give one final tip on that,
yeah.
which is there's some giant services that do this. And one example is Linda's Closet. And what I want you guys to derive from that is look at what she won't take. So Linda's Closet has a service with a very extensive, we do not buy this stuff. So you
Hmm.
should have one yourself as you start doing it with people. Let them know like this type of stuff will be donated and it's going to find a better home. You can take it and get a write off on by yourself because as I have noticed with this type of service, you think, oh, I'm not going to get enough stuff until it starts getting some traction, and then you have too much stuff. So you need to be careful
Yeah.
on inflow because it'll eat up your space a lot because people will use you as a like a landfill. So you need to figure out
Right.
how to get the buy list very clear. And that's like this is what we do sell, this is what we don't sell, this is what we'll do with it. And then also have a policy. I think it should be 6 months. In my model, after 6 months, it gets auctioned. So if somebody's giving me stuff, or even when I'm buying stuff from somebody, it's not going to be in my store longer than 6, or even maybe 1 year, depending on what it is.
Right.
But
For
like that way,
seasonality.
you have
Yeah.
an finish line for this stuff, and it's not just your store is getting bigger forever.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm implementing this 6 month to a year rule just for everything in my store in general.
Mhm.
But I have told people with this, like, you have 48 hours to either accept or come pick up, or I will drop off your items. I don't have the ability to store your stuff. So once I tell you this is what I'm going to take,
Mhm.
we need to make it happen. Either I'm outright buying it, it's not consignment, like I'm taking it, and then we're doing something else with the rest of it. This is not, hang out at Rebecca's house with all your dirty clothes. Like, that's not, no, no.
For sure.
Not cool.
So, so if you guys have any comments or questions, you can post them in the comment section below. I'll make sure Rebecca gets a list of those. And
Yeah, I'll look at.
also, Rebecca, do you want to remind people where they can find you? And then, um, yeah, let people know where they can find
Yeah,
you
no,
again.
yeah. I'm Rebecca. I'm the Reseller Mom Show on YouTube, and on Instagram, it's at the Reseller Mom Show. So I'd love for you to stop by, say hi, tell me all about what you do, or ask me questions and what you are working on or struggling with, and I will do my best to make a video for it.
And Rebecca and I are going to launch this series for the next couple Mondays to start out and just see how it goes. So tune in
Yeah.
on Monday mornings for your Monday motivation. We'll get these out for you guys, and then you can let us know if you like the series and we'll continue it, or what you want us to improve. And we're always open ears.
Cool.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you.